What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Michelle Renee from IamMichelleRenee.com, and I am so happy to have you back for another Tribal Council. It is Wednesday, so we're back with the Tribe of Dope Black Women, and I am so honored to be with these women tonight. It's always a pleasure to have my friends come on and us just to talk, especially in COVID. It's been a very interesting time. And I know for me, this has been something very special and therapeutic. So I am happy to bring our first panelist on tonight. And she is going to tell us a little bit about who she is and what her brand is. So welcome to the stream, Miss McKee Sykes. How are you, McKee?
I'm good. How are you today?
I am absolutely wonderful. Tell us who you are, what you do, and a little bit about your brand. We had your brand information up just a moment ago. Tell us about Wake, Pray, Create.
Well, my name is McKee Sykes. I am living here in the great state of Mississippi by midway of Pearl. The name of my business is Wake, Pray, Create MS LLC. This is a professional organizing service that I provide where I am helping you declutter your spaces, your home, your kitchen, your closets, your bathrooms, garages, laundry rooms, and bedrooms and playrooms. As we all know that, clutter can definitely interfere with our lives. It can cause us a great deal of stress and feeling overwhelmed. It can be isolating sometimes. And so I am here to help you alleviate that. A lot of times we hold on to things, not necessarily because they have sentimental ties, but just because we just don't know what to do with them. So I am here to help you eliminate some of that, create some space for the things that you love and the people that matter most.
Absolutely. And I can speak firsthand and say that just because you're in Mississippi doesn't mean that you cannot help those who are not in Mississippi, because you got me and my closet life all the way together. Just by us doing a quick video call, me sending pictures, telling you what I wanted, and then you helped me
Mhm.
really go about the process of decluttering my closet and creating a closet that I could actually function and live in. So, y'all, you gotta look below wakepraycreatems.com. The website is up and functional. It is amazing. She takes you through everything you need, from organization to virtual consultations, everything you need to get yourself together. And you just made a great point, because when we did our interview a few months back, you talked a little bit about we talked about the anxiety that clutter can create and the stress that it creates,
Definitely.
and how it's
Mhm.
so important to declutter your life. So I am grateful for you, and I hope that everybody else can see how beneficial having a professional organizer come through and take a look at things can be. Because listen, you changed my organizational life, because I didn't have one before you. Now your posts every week and the different target spaces you look at really helped me to see, okay, I can do this, Michelle. You can handle this. You got this, girl. So thank you so much, McKee. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by Wake, Pray, Create MS LLC. Shout out to my girl, McKee. We're so honored to have you. And we got to bring on our other panelists tonight, Dr. Shaquia Harris. You got to put that emphasis on that doctor, because we respecting all of the PhD work that this young lady put in. What's up, Dr. Harris? How are you? Or as I call you, Dr. Quia.
I am fine. Ending
I'm
this
so
week.
happy to have you. Yeah, you've been busy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've been rocking it out this week. Tell everybody a little bit about who you are, Queer, and what you got going on, because you got something really special. I see in your little box down there. It's something special going on. Tell us about that.
Well, I have an app that is called Mindfully Fashioned, and it centers around faith, mental health, and holistic care, which those two are components of it. But really wanted to normalize the conversation of mental health in our communities, as well as daily conversations, so that people will be more apt to actually seek therapy and stop seeing it as a bad thing.
Listen, I think that's amazing. I think that's something that we need to spend more time focusing on, more energy focusing on. And I can tell you, like I was telling McKee, just having that app and having that tool, especially in the midst of everything with COVID and the isolation that many of us has experienced, has been very therapeutic. Like everybody is not at a place mentally to say, I'm ready to go to a therapist or I'm ready to have that. But to have something or someone to kind of help you curate your thoughts and say, you know what, here's a tool for if you're feeling this way, or, you know, here's just one quick thing. Even something as simple as a self-care regimen and how it can change how you view yourself is extremely positive, and you offer that. So we call it a tribe of dope Black women just because that's exactly what these women are, a tribe of truly dope Black women. So y'all, let's get into this. We are going to be talking tonight about a little bit of everything that has been going on with just, I don't want to say society, because that is what it is, right? Like, we have watched the Royals, we have watched all things related to them in the last few days as everything is unfolded. And tell me this, did any of you feel surprised by what you saw, or even the snippets of the Oprah interview with Harry and Meghan?
No.
The only part that I was surprised about was that they were not willing, they were taking away the security for Archie. I wasn't surprised about the racism. I wasn't surprised about them talking about how dark he would be. I was just really surprised about they were willing to take away his security, and the way they treated Meghan, and the fact that she was reaching out for help and they were telling her, no, you need to lay low and just deal with it. You need to suffer in silence. I was surprised by that.
Listen,
Princess Diana I was just thinking Princess Diana made me not surprised by that. Like, this lady a whole, like, married to their son, like right here, like closer connection than, of course, Meghan, and they didn't care. So
well, I guess I was kind of looking at it from
what it's saying. They need you to see them in the light of being like of this higher level, high functioning at all levels, mentally, physically, what have you. They want to be seen there. And so if you are showing this weakness that most people see mental health as, then you are not being where we expect you to be.
Well, I was kind of looking at it to kind of piggyback off the Diana situation. I thought that some lessons were learned with Diana and how they treated her, and maybe with Meghan, they would, especially since that was Harry's mother, that they would do a little bit better by Meghan. You know, how hard would it have been to pair her up with a psychologist and just did it in private? You know, like, you know, it didn't have to be made public. They could have done it very discreetly, you know, made the psychologist, sign an NDA, and he could have treated her privately and no one would have ever known about it, you know. But that was what I was surprised about the most, in the fact that they took away the security.
You would think, you know, with people being in that, what I would say is a higher position of that nature, if they wouldn't behave in such a way. But I really have learned that when we see people, they are not what they seem. So that is the case when it comes to the royals. They are, first of all, they really have no real power. They are just a figurehead for that country. They don't really make any major decisions or anything like that. But the fact that that's still a system that's in place is what's more problematic, because you're talking about a system that went about colonizing all these other countries and have professed racism for generations, for hundreds of years. It doesn't surprise me at all. But what I did find surprising is that, you know, in the midst of all of that they would treat him that way. I'm not surprised by the way they treated Meghan at all. I did not expect anything different. I totally expected it doesn't matter how Black you are, because even Black people want to try to throw her away and say, well, she's only half Black, or she's light-skinned Black, or she whatever. Listen, when people view you as Black, I don't care if you only got a speck of Black in you, you are Black and you will be treated as such. So for her, I wasn't shocked about the treatment that they gave her at all. That was very well expected. But how could you treat your own blood, your own royal, your own person in the way that you treated Harry? But I feel like even with him, they always knew that he was different. He's always been more like his mother. And they were just like, that's the one we're not gonna be able to keep on a chain. So we're probably gonna have to eliminate. So they probably had plans well before this royal wedding or whatever, or royal babies or anything took place, that they knew they was gonna probably have to get rid of him, in a sense that we'll disconnect. We won't hurt you like we plan to hurt your mom, but we will get rid of you because we're not gonna do anything to our immediate bloodline in that way. So that's how I viewed it, and I was just very not shocked at all, but definitely disgusted. Because a baby is a baby. Babies don't ask to be here. Babies don't get to decide their race. They don't get to decide who they're born to. And so for anyone to mistreat a child, you're trash. You're trash.
Yeah.
2 thumbs down. 2 thumbs down.
Okay.
But to know that Tyler Perry had such an intricate role in kind of like being there, it's very comical. Like, to me, it's funny because it's like, of all the people in the world,
Tyler
I
Perry.
know that was like completely left field. I was like, Tyler Perry, but you know, it's just
I got so tickled. I was like, this is like the makings of a Medea movie.
Oh, he about to make one, bro.
Medea goes to Buckingham Palace.
Yep. And she gonna get in there and cut up.
Show out real bad, real bad. But I found that very, very interesting because we have these expectations of people who have always been ugly. And when I say ugly, I'm not talking about aesthetically. I'm talking about behaviors. You know, you're ready to say don't act ugly. You could be pretty all day, but if you're ugly on the inside, you ugly. These people are ugly people because they do ugly things. Any ruling or any organization that will go and take a whole nother person's country and claim it as your own, that's ugly from the core. So they've never been any good when it comes to that kind of stuff. I look at it and I'm like, But when I watched the other people, what I saw in that treatment is, for her, Megan's not even a resident of that country, how she was treated. Imagine how they treat their Black residents, like the actual Black folks that's in London, the actual Black people that's a part of the UK and things like that. Like, racism is not something that was not happening over there. Just because we don't get to see their news every day. So, and we don't get to live their experiences. Racism is something that is not unique to America. It is universal. You have suppressed and oppressed people of color all around the world. You know, you go to India and the darker your skin is, the worse you're going to get treated. You know, you find those people in those Asian countries trying to lighten their skin and do all kinds of things to appease the dominant culture. And Dr. Davis talks about a lot of times the caste system. It's not just here; it's all over the world. It's a global sickness that we have when it comes to the mistreatment of people, and that really, like, it blows my mind because you look and you're like, what happened? Like, how did all of this even get to this place? And when did people feel so desperate for control that they had to mistreat somebody based off of what they look like? Because all of us, it really is just a scale of melanin, like from more melanated people to less melanated people. And you look and you can go in any Black family, right? I don't care where you are, what part of the world you're in. You can go to any family and you're still going to see an array of melanated people. Okay? From lighter to darker. There should be no treatment or mistreatment of a person based on the hue of their skin. Yet there still is. And we had this colorism conversation a while back. And for me, I think what disrupted or what frustrated me more than anything was the response that some Black people had to her treatment being deserved. Like, who deserves to be mistreated? Why? Is it because she married a white guy?
Yeah, you know
yeah.
That's what simple-minded people are thinking.
Last time I checked, you're supposed to love who you love. And listen, somebody we were talking about, I reposted something and I said, you gotta find you a man that love you like Harry, like he was willing to give up everything, right? His family, his title, his money, everything for this person. That's what the Bible talks about, like cleaving to your wife, leaving your parents. Like, that's what the whole vows in the word, like that's what all that says, right? And then someone made the comparison of, well, Prince Hakeem did it for Lisa. Here's the thing.
I was thinking that. I was
Here's
just
the thing.
thinking that.
Prince Hakeem and Lisa are fictional.
Right.
They're
But
not.
no, that popped in my head like that scene. I'll give it up.
I renounce my throne.
It's my
I
throne.
renounce- Does that make you happy? Like, that's beautiful if it were a group of people.
Right.
But Prince Hakeem and Lisa ain't real. They're not.
They're not.
How many men, I don't care the color, black, white, orange, purple, how many men are truly going to be willing to say, you know what? I'll leave my family and truly be with you and truly
they
cleave
don't
to
even
you.
leave their job, they little 9 to 5 now. They don't have time to leave it to spend a few hours with you talking about giving it up.
That part, because everybody wants to, like, they were making the hairy comparisons and people were getting all in their feelings and but seriously, like, what are you willing to give up? Because it's a lot of men allowing their wives to be disrespected by their moms or their sisters or their grandmas.
Yes.
If you chose this person to be with and spend your life with, there's nobody and nothing that is supposed to be able to come through it and destroy it. It says what God has put together, let no man put asunder, right? Yet you letting your mama, your auntie, your sister, your cousins put asunder. It's problematic. I think about that and I'm like, listen, he ride or die about that lady. Like, for real. He was willing to give it all up for his wife and his child, which you should be. Like, to me, that should not be a badge of honor. That should be an expectation. Like, you don't get goldfish or a lollipop because you did what you're supposed to do, which is stand up for your wife and your child and protect them at all costs. That's what you're supposed to be doing. That's what we signed up for. If you're not going to protect me, why are we together? I could be out here, like, keep in mind, she's the millionaire. She's the breadwinner in the family. She had to basically give up her career to go and be with you. I don't know.
I think for him, it was a no-brainer. I don't think he really struggled with the idea of choosing Megan over his family or losing his family. I think that, I think he truly loves Megan. I think he cares about her and he really protects her. And I think there is probably a sense of guilt for bringing her into this situation, kind of walking in thinking that they knew it was going to be bad, but they didn't know it was going to be this bad, and exposing her to that. And then, I think he probably takes some responsibility in her mental health decline and her feeling so isolated and just wanting to protect that. I think for him, it's just, it was a no-brainer. I don't think it was him going back to his family and being like, hey, take us, we'll do anything. He's like, no, y'all don't want to act right, we out.
And I think he already had been prepped by that, because, like, when you know your people, when you know your family is kind of sorry, then you're like, yeah, she's worth it. Honestly, a pumpkin might have been worth it to get away from them folks.
Mm-hmm.
Just being honest. So that's
I think he still has a lot of resentment for what they did to his mother. I think for him, he has a lot of resentment. I think he alluded to that he had watched the Crown, the British show The Crown, which is a great show, by the way. And it probably just some things he just saw firsthand, and he probably has some, and he realized that they didn't protect his mother the way that they should have, and he knows that they're not going to protect him and his wife, so he left.
Listen, I say down with it all. In the monarchy and keep it moving.
Yeah.
Anywho, the only kings, queens, princes, and princes I want to be talking about is Coming to America. That's it. Prince Hakeem, Princess Mika, yeah. Princess Lisa, King Akeem, Queen Lisa, Jaffa, Man, listen. I know, because we're gonna switch gears. I know that Coming to America got a lot of flack, but nothing about me went into that movie thinking about it as a sequel at all. Like, I thought about it as a movie that was like a first cousin to the original, right? I didn't look at it and say, oh my gosh, here we are 30 years later, and it's going to be a continuation. No, because so many things have happened in 30 years. Like, there's so much evolution that has taken place. And how do you make something better that was already close to perfection? Because that movie was solid gold when it came out, and still to this day. My husband and I watched it before Coming to America came out, and we were like, we laughed the entire time from the opening scene to the end credits. I knew it word for word. Everything was still nostalgic and funny. So seeing the follow-up with Coming to America, listen, we laughed and we laughed and we laughed, and we treated it for what it was, because it was truly a hilarious movie that was a parody of what we all grew up to love, you know, and watching Eddie and Arsenio recreate these characters all these years later. Like, how do you even do that? The talent that it required, and then looking at just the level of Black excellence, because as I'm watching it, all I could see was like how many Black people were employed for this film, right?
Mhm.
That warmed my heart. The costume was so lit. We haven't seen anything like that since we went to Wakanda a few years ago. Okay, it was beautiful. The scenes were funny. Leslie Jones is a whole fool, and I love her. She was amazing. Tracy Morgan was amazing. It took all these greats. Wesley Snipes showed his whole behind, and I was just like, I've never seen him act that way. So it was such a refreshing revitalization of him as an actor, because for me, I'm thinking of Wesley Snipes back in the day, you know, who was this big sex symbol, Nino Brown, all these different things, Blade, which was my least favorite character. But I'm watching him, and then to see him come alive in a comedy, it's like, okay, so this is what you're doing. It was funny. But we look at that and we totally miss when we try to critique everything about, like, it's okay if you didn't like it, that's fine too. But what is there not to love about a movie by us, for us, about us? Even though we don't get to have it in real time, it's this fictional place. It was still really beautiful. I hope both of you saw it, right? I hope I'm not ruining it.
I did.
No, I saw it.
What are your thoughts, Quia?
It was corny. Some of it was corny to me.
It was.
But I did laugh at some of it. I did enjoy some of it. But to me, the Wesley Snipes character was the most corniest. I don't even know if that's.
Oh, it was awful. It was awful, but it was hilarious. You ever seen something that's such a clown that is funny? It was one of those things. It was like, you're really showing out bad. Like the fact that they had to do a dance routine every time he entered the room. Foolishness. Foolishness. But we don't get like, okay, let me give an example. Coming off a movie like Malcolm and Marie, or When They See Us. That's what started out the pandemic, was When They See Us. Like, so to bring the pandemic kind of full circle a year later, and this is what we have, it felt a little bit better than something that was going to be depressing, or something that was going to, I didn't want to think. For that hour, 50 minutes, it was like no thoughts, no energy. I didn't feel anxious about anything. I wasn't worried about if a Black man was going to be gunned down or something crazy. Like, it was like, I can just enjoy this and laugh and feel free. So that's what it gave to me, was that freedom to just go to a movie, enjoy it, love the costuming, laugh at the corny jokes, and be okay with it. Because I've watched countless corny white movies. 99% of them are sorry corny white movies. I don't know if y'all saw this movie. It's called The Wrong Missy. Fool Show with David Spade. Fool Show. Straight fool show. Corny, awful, but it's funny. But when you think about those things, like, are we gonna ever evolve to a place where Black people can have movies that aren't super serious, that aren't of these expectations where every movie got to be like Black Panther, or where every movie has to be an Oscar award-winning movie? Can we just have cinema for us that has senseless humor, slapstick humor? Will Ferrell, I'm a big Will Ferrell fan. I loved Old School. I loved Step Brothers. Like anything Will Ferrell is in, I'm a watch. Right? I want to see some of that with us and characters that look like us. I want to see us having movies that don't require us to have therapy after it, or don't require us to have like some kind of viewer's guide to support us because we're watching it.
I think we have those movies in maybe not to that extent, and then it depends on the actor. Like we expect that kind of behavior from people like Kevin Hart or Marlon Wayans or someone like that. So it doesn't seem corny, but then we see like Wesley Snipes do it. It was like, what?
Like, you're like, Lord. Because Wesley came out of the 80s, late 80s, early 90s being, this serious, big time. But also think about this, is one of the first films he's had since, coming out of prison with all the tax issues and things like that. So this is big. And to see him in a light that he might not have necessarily wanted to play a serious role.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really cool, So because I was reading.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I was reading why Eric LaSalle, which is the character that played Daryl, why he didn't come back. He said he was too busy for a movie like that. And I was like, wow.
You miss movies like I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker.
Yes. Listen, and people talk bad about those movies that were a part of what they call blaxploitation movies. Oh, girl, I love Hollywood Shuffle. Do not play with me. I love that movie.
I've never seen that.
Go Down Dirty Shade.
It's so powerful. It is so crazy.
Listen, I love those movies though. I love them. Like I was telling my husband, I said, you know what? They could recreate a movie like Harlem Nights, but they can't. Harlem Nights was like Hollywood gold, Black Hollywood gold. You can create a movie similar, but it will never top Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy. It will never top that. Della Reese. You can't. So what you do is you create something similar and you try to give that same feel-good feeling that we had when we watched those movies. But a lot of we're not void of stories. We're not at a place where we're done with Black stories. I'm ready to start seeing us have more stories of victory, more stories that are not serious, more stories that are just fun, that you can let your hair down, like I said, and you don't feel traumatized leaving the theater because of something that it triggered in you. You want to be able to have that experience. Like I want to go to the movies and just watch it because it's fun. That's what we're missing in a sense, in my opinion. But I liked it. I'd give it, I went on Amazon and I reviewed it because I watched how the reviews were being written. And I saw so many people talking about political overtones and, oh, this movie makes an attempt to be woke and it's not woke. And I'm like, what movie were y'all watching? Because what? And I think they're talking about the shot at the beginning when the young Black guy couldn't get a job. But let's keep it real. There's a lot of people sitting in their jobs and their positions who are only there because they uncle, daddy, granddad own the company. Not because they're qualified, not because they know what they're doing, but because of nepotism. That's fact. If calling out nepotism is being too woke, then by all means, I'm gonna be too woke, because that's exactly what we see in the real world every day. So I didn't see a political overtone. I did love that they tried to ensure that they empowered the young Black women characters in the movie. I love that he had all daughters. I thought that was beautiful. Somebody texted me and was like, girl, the Glitter Gang could have been those daughters. I was like, we got to get the Glitter Gang in Hollywood because they totally could have rocked those parts. But we have to call a spade. And I love that they didn't mind pushing the envelope to rock Hollywood and say, listen, we see you And the only reason, because realistically, if you watch Coming to America, if you watch Trading Spaces, which is an old Eddie Murphy movie, you know that the characters from Trading Spaces were bums in Coming to America. Okay? Because they had lost all their money in the stock market. Well, he went on the date with Lisa and gave all his pocket change to him, and they were able to rebuild their life. That's how that little Easter egg ties into it. So the fact that this young man that he would not hire, had it not been for his dad, bro, you wouldn't even have that job.
Right.
Crazy. But I love the way they brought it full circle. So I went on there, baby, and I rated it 5 stars, gave a beautiful written rating for it, because it's like, I'm watching people tear it down on Amazon, like literally tear it down. And you have people who will only look at that rating and not even give the film a chance. And it's like, can you form your own opinion? And my thing is, even as a Black person, if I thought the movie was trash,
I wouldn't put it on.
I'm still going to go over there and get 5 stars and say, watch that movie and support this Black organization that's trying to employ people. Because the only way we're going to be able to keep us in Hollywood is if we keep us there ourselves. That's just keeping it real. We have still not cracked it like we think we've cracked it. We still have to ensure that in every space where we're creating movies, we're still infusing white actors and things like that into our movies. We haven't had a solid Black cast of 100% Black people ever. Even Black Panther still had white characters. I get it. We don't live in a world by ourselves. We don't. But I've seen many white movies with no Black characters at all. Like not a single one, not even an extra walking in the background, as if Black people don't populate every part of this world.
Watch Hallmark, and you'll definitely not see Black. They're finally integrating it now.
They are, with the Kelly Rowland movie, and I think Toni Braxton had one, and different things like that. Or was that Lifetime that Toni Braxton was on?
That was Lifetime.
I can't remember. Okay. But Kelly Rowland did have the movie on Hallmark, right? Something about Christmas.
I think that was on Lifetime too.
Was it? So we only get to be on Christmas movies. We only get to celebrate Blackness during Christmas time, apparently. But my thing is, we have all these different avenues. I love that people like Kevin Stage has his own sound stage and studio. Like, I love that he's creating opportunities for other Black actors and other entertainers to have a space to operate. So I spend them $12 every month and order my little socially distanced comedy show, because I don't got to leave my bedroom to do it. Watch it right now on my TV, because I would spend $12 on something foolish. So why not support an organization? You know what I'm saying? So I look at that and I'm like, there's so many, what other people look at as little things that are major things to Black businesses. And I'm going to touch on that for a quick second too, because Quia, you and I kind of talked about this a while back. We were talking about just in general with support and why it's so hard to get people to support your endeavors. You can go and be the person who supports every single thing. You buy everything, you share everything, you like everything, you comment on everything, and people are like, oh my gosh, she's so supportive. But if you put out one thing, crickets start chirping. And you're like, what the?
And not that I was doing that to get you to like mine, but I at least thought you would reciprocate.
Right. And I had to really check myself, because I was like, Lord, I know I don't do what I do to receive likes or attention. That's not why I do it. But a lot of what I do is a message that could help somebody, or a resource that could help somebody. So why not share it so somebody else can be helped from it? I was like, wow. It really blows your mind. Why is that? Why is that? Like, what I read a post today, and it basically coupled up with when we see people not support, is it because they're jealous? And in my head, I'm going, I don't think it's jealousy.
Yeah.
I don't think it's jealousy. But what is it?
I don't know. Like, some people will say that they were, when it comes to social media, some people will say that they were busy and the algorithm didn't allow them to see it. So I understand that. So some people may not have knowledge of it. So how are you giving it to people to be able to publicize it for you? Are you directly giving it to them, or are you expecting them to see it? And sometimes we don't want to vocalize like, hey, can you post this for me? Hey, sometimes I know I don't want to ask people to post something of mine.
Well, you ain't gotta ask me. I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna steal it from your page. I'm gonna take it.
I'm
gonna share it.
She does do that. She does do that. I appreciate it.
Right, totally appreciate it. I know mine comes out of something that I've worked on for years, like fear of rejection, like that people are going to be like, oh, yeah, I don't want to post that stuff, or like they have a negative underlying connotation. But then that's my fault because I don't vocalize what I want or need from them. And so that's where it can be a miscommunication of things, of like, some people, let's be real, just aren't that considerate. Like they weren't raised to be like, oh, let me help a person.
But here was the counter to that, because I knew the queer in you. I knew that was gonna be the response. What happens when you see someone else, your friend, family member, whatever, share another person's same idea that you had that they've never shared yours? Is that jealousy?
Ooh.
What's that?
Ooh.
Go ahead, sip your water, queen, because I know you need to.
I forgot it. I was like, oh, I'm a little parched.
Got parched, didn't you? Yeah.
Maybe they like this. I can speak for self. I don't know about other people. Sometimes I take family for granted, and I'm like, they already know I support them. I'm their family. I don't have to post it. They know I already support them. And so I don't know if that's what people maybe think when they don't post yours, but post someone that has similar products. But I'm thinking like, oh, behind stage, I already bought about 100 of it. So I don't have to put it out there because, and not failing to realize, but others beyond you. Stop thinking about yourself. You're putting out there so people that aren't you can see it and help your people. So, yeah.
That's different. Mm-hmm. I had to how you want to comment on something, but you got to sit with for a second, because I'm like, you know what? I would feel away. Thank you, Blair. Blair said that's a fact. Michelle is the captain of the cheerleading squad. I was the captain of the cheerleading squad in middle school, but only middle school. But when I think about that, like, I share my friends because, one, I'm not with my friends all the time. And if I don't share them with the new friends that I have, then they will never get a chance to meet them or see what they do, right? I also share my friends. This is going to sound bad, maybe, but I don't really care, because I like to brag on my friends, okay? I am very proud of my tribe. I tell y'all that personally, but I like to flex and be like, hey, look what my girl do. My girl built an app. Is yours? Did your friend do that? My friend got a whole organization website, and she could get you together from 600 miles away. Can your friend do that? Oh, yeah. My best friend got a whole fitness clothing line, baby, and she was featured on Good Morning America. Has your best friend done that? So it's a little slight flex for me. It's the flex. I'm going to make that shirt this weekend. It's the flex for me. I like that. That does something for me. But Blair just hit it. She said, family and friends don't always support. They more so want a discount or expect you to give it to them. But they will support a pure stranger. Why is that? Honey.
Well, I know I don't expect a discount. But like I said, I might have bought stuff behind the scenes. So therefore I didn't think, oh, let me post this. But now I don't know. My app is free, so I can't say that people want a discount on the app. Or
I have had experiences.
That blog is free. It doesn't. Well, it's not free for me, but it's free for everybody else to enjoy. I could have put a subscription on my blog and say, "Hey, in order to read these articles or see these interviews, you pay so and so a month, and you get this." But I said, "For what? This is free. This is free for all." So when you think about that, it's like, for something that is free, just like Facebook or just like these apps or just like anything else, why not share it? I think about that and I look at all the different people, and I know when I look at some of the people who actually are doing something or have a product, I can see how it can be hurtful when a person has a product and they watch a person who is like, they've been hustling, they've been working to try to get this product together, and they've been putting it out. And then the next person comes along and has a similar product or a product period completely different. And you see a person going hard to promote that. And you're like, what the? Here's the thing. You can promote both. Because the same energy that you put in one, you can put in the other. Like, I am living proof that you can promote every single person and thing. Because it takes 2 seconds to hit share. It takes 2 seconds to hit like or love. And I love most things. Like, that's when they gave me the love button, I was looking at my little memory the other day. I was like, they messed up when they gave me that love button, baby, because I'm going to love it to death. But I also know the way algorithms work. If I want more people to see it, I got to love it and I got to comment. Okay? Then it's also up to the original poster to say something back. Even if you say, oh, I love that, or thank you so much, now it's going to generate more people to see that there's a conversation. Oh, people are talking about this. But I look at them like, wow, like, it takes no energy. Initially, when I started out supporting with 8 Figure with Blair's brand, it's because that's my best friend, Quia. That's our best friend. She got a clothing brand. We supposed to support because that's what best friends do. Then I got it and I was like, whoa. One, these actually fit. I buy a lot of stuff that don't fit and I end up having to give it away. These fit and they look good. Okay. Then it turned in, hold on, I'm gonna start working out because I want to be able to wear these outside my house. Okay. Now your girl thinks she's fine. Okay. Wore my little crop top to Target. Ooh. The lady was like, oh my gosh, your outfit is cute. Baby, I said 8figure.com. Make sure you right here, you need to check that out. And she's like, I'm gonna do that. Thank you. It does not hurt to do any of those things. So when we think about supporting, like I hurt when I see other people share that sentiment, because I don't care if nobody watches the blog or if nobody does it. I've gotten past that place because I genuinely do it for my own therapeutic reasons. It's a release for me. And so the interviews are the bread, but what actually takes place on the blog every day is the meat. So the meat is what I never really post about. It's what I never share. It's, you got to be a subscriber to see that, because it comes to your inbox every day. Right? You'll see those articles every day. You'll see those posts every day. And I'll be sharing some real deep, dark stuff on there, but it's stuff that I have to get out. Right? So I'm like, you know what? I don't want to post every day about those different blog posts. I don't, if you see it, you read it and it connects with you, great. If it doesn't, that's okay. Right. And I know that you don't have to be, Blair says, hey, Quia Harris, hey, McKee. You don't have to be a person on social media to share certain things, you know? And I tell people all the time, I was sharing with my sister about McKee's services because she's there in Mississippi. I was like, listen, this is who you need, because she can really like help you visualize what it is that you have in your mind to do. You talk about those things and you really put it out there. That didn't require a social media share.
I'm just thinking about my closet. Paul McKee, when she come and do my Jesus, help her.
Listen, the way she talks about it, you would think that she is like curating something for a palace, because she's like, oh, honey, because I got this and we're going to do this. I was like, ooh, girl, you got me looking like I got a real closet up in here, not little people just pulling stuff from off the wall. It's good.
That's all my stuff came in today, McKee.
Yay, I'm excited.
I cannot wait to see this transformation, because Quia, I know you got clothes, honey. I already know.
Yes.
Oh, baby. It's shameful.
But you have a purpose with all that, because you're a fashionista. Well, a lot of what you bring about styling.
That's how I express myself.
Exactly. That's me in shoes. I love shoes. Like, I told McKee, I said, McKee, we got to figure out a way for me to, like, I think I'm about to bust down the wall upstairs and make my closet bigger, because I need more space for my shoes, because this ain't working. We are not okay with the shoes right now. But I look at that and how simple it is to just be like, okay, you can support one another without ever spending a dime. You can support one another by just, like, share, comment. you also can support one another by just telling the person, hey, I'm proud of you. Like, keep going. If nobody sees what you're doing, that's okay. Keep going. Don't give up. That's why people will see the posts that I've been doing for the last couple of weeks on Instagram, and they probably think I'm trying to speak to them, but I'm really speaking to Michelle. Michelle, don't give up.
That's what
Michelle.
that's what get on my nerve, where people think you automatically talking to them. No, that's your conscience talking to you. Like, this is me putting this on here because I wanted to put it on here, but that's your conscience. Take it up with yourself. Like,
listen, Quinn, it's like you get in my head every week with your counseling corner post, because I'd be like, ooh, Quinn must have been reading my diary this week, because they need to understand that I'm not even thinking about what you're talking about. I'm taking care of me. I am operating from a place of truly valuing myself. And once I get over this hump of fatigue, which is why I'm taking a break next week from everything, no interviews, no tribe, no Thursday night IG, nothing. I've got to cleanse so I can be my best self for myself first, then for my family, then for the people that I share my ministry with. And my ministry is my blog. It is, what I do with I'mMichelleRenee.com. I can't do that if I'm like dog tired and, to the point of frustration, because I can't say no. That's a problem in and of itself. So we have to get to that place where I think that was one of the first tribal councils that we talked about, is like people not supporting and why that was. And I just find it interesting because it kind of leads me to a conversation that we're probably going to have when I come back about Mean Girls and why the Mean Girls, all they did was grow up. They're still mean.
There's still queen bees out there, and not in a good way. Queen bees are the ones that lead the whole plastic group. Yep. Remember that from Mean Girls, the plastic.
Yes.
The queen bee is the one.
I totally remember the plastics. I've been a victim of the plastic like girls. And hey, Monica, I don't understand the mean girl mentality, but what I do get bothered by is the mean girls now wanting you to support everything that they got going on. But I'm like, but you don't support nobody, sis. You still mean.
Yeah.
You still out here acting ugly and talking about people and shading people in your comments and your subliminal posts and such. I watch it. It's not nice.
Yeah.
How about you stop being a mean girl?
It was a girl. You know how sometimes you get people on social media that you never met, but y'all friends. Like, that's my friend.
Oh,
like,
girl, I got me some real friends on social media.
Like, I think that's my friend. But she is a influencer, and she did a post before, and she was like, you guys wouldn't believe, like, some of your favorite influencers are total mean girls, or like.
Oh, I totally believe it.
Like,
I totally believe it. Because I've seen the way some of the comebacks in the comments are. And I'm like, that wasn't said in a corrective tone or in a loving tone. That was said with some real funk on it, some real stank. And I'm like, you can peep a genuine person and a stank person from across the room. You ain't even got to be in the same presence with them. You'll be like,
Yep. And I've had my encounter in a direct message. Like, I was asking about an item or something. And she was like, could you at least, girl, you don't know me first off, because this little keyboard thing is protecting you, because I'm just going to unfollow you.
You see that me with the cat like this? You see that me with the cat like this? Don't make me get the type it, girl. I don't like that, though.
Girl, delete and go on. Because I don't know
like
what food you on here. Like, please. I can find it in 2 seconds, but I was trying to give an interaction here, since you are an influencer.
And even with that title, it kind of makes me cringe a little bit, because it's like,
it is cringe-worthy. If you look at
you're a mean girl, who are you influencing and why? I posted, y'all know I love my babies, even though they get on my nerves. Do not get it twisted. I love my babies. They are my people. So I posted a little homage post for them for International Women's Day, because they're not quite women, but they will one day be women. And I look at that and I'm like, I just want to be a good human for them. I don't want to be a great blogger. I don't want to be a great teacher or a great, I want to be a good human for them so they know how to treat people. And so I hope that as I'm going around, as I'm operating in life, the way they see me interact with my friends, and I think even bigger, because how you treat your friends is how you treat your friends, but how they see me treat complete strangers. That's what I want to know, that I'm leaving something positive with them, that I'm an influencer in that way. Because to me, that's way more significant than them following somebody on social media, or even following their fake mommy persona on social media to have it create something that's not real. Like I don't want that. So the way I think about them, I love them hard. I can be rough with them sometimes because I need them to understand the world is not going to treat you like princesses, even though I think you're princesses. You got to be ready for the world. But at the same time, I'm going to love them up and nurture them and things like that. But I look at that and I tell them all the time, don't be the mean girl. Don't go to school and be the mean girl. And I can tell y'all today, Layla's pre-K teacher said she was an amazing friend. She was kind and she was sharing and she was an amazing friend. She doesn't get that every day. She's poor.
Well, today she tried.
But today she was an amazing friend and she was helpful and she was thoughtful. And I stood there and I said, this one, like the one I'm holding in my arms? She's like, yeah, she was an amazing friend. And I'm like, okay, thank you. And that's why I said, well, Layla, you know, what made you an amazing friend today? She said, you told me to be a good person today. I said, but I tell you that every day. I tell you to go to school, rock your Black girl magic, and most of all, be kind to everyone you encounter. She's like, but today I was listening. Well, all right then. All right then. Can you keep listening for me? I need those kind of reports every day. And I'm trying to empower her, Quia, to be able to vocalize when something bothers her. And when she doesn't have a great day like she had today, can we get to the root of why so that we know how to correct it in the future? Because I want her to be able to own her emotions and her feelings and things like that and not feel like it's bad when she have a bad day. We all have them. But what causes, so we can try to prevent it in the future? Because if it's something that we can avoid or somebody that we can avoid, let's do that. We could do that. So that's powerful. I don't want to raise the mean girls. I don't like that. I had to tell my oldest, I was like, this right here, this funk you got going on, I don't like it. I said, because girls like you, I wanted to fight when I was little. She was like, what? I said, I'm dead serious. Like, don't be that girl. You don't want to get beat up or have to fight. You might win, but you don't want to be the girl that's got to fight just because you're not being nice. Like, being kind is not a character flaw. Like, you could be kind and people still not like you, and that's okay. But don't let them not like you for something that you actually did. Let them not like you because you are a kind person and you do display love at all times, because that means that that's their problem and not yours.
Right.
I think that has a lot to do with why we see people not supporting one another. Because at one point in time, this person at some point felt like, oh, there was an exchange. There was an exchange. It may have been an exchange of energy. It may have been an actual conversation, but there was some exchange where the person may have felt like, she ain't my cup of tea. I'm going to still be kind to her, but won't get my like, won't get my share, won't get my energy or whatever. You be like, what's that?
That's what you feel why some people may not support?
For some people, yeah. For me, like, I may not come up in their friends list or whatever they're seeing. That's okay too. But I can see people, I've seen people do less and get more raves. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've seen people who have made significant impacts on communities and not get the attention as people who may be bringing negative energy to a community, if that makes sense. I've seen people who do amazing things for children and all kinds of stuff like that not get the same energy as somebody who is not doing really anything. And you're like, yeah, this is a flawed concept. But
that's why I have to look beyond social media, because I know someone who I'm taking a course from right now that's been seeing several um, television stations and has did a lot in the community, but her Instagram following, she may get like 3-4 likes,
yeah,
but she's more impactful in the community than like on social media.
right. I think that's more for me. That's more of an impact anyway. What are you
Right.
doing? What are you doing? Not what are you
Mhm.
showing? What are you
Right.
actually doing? That's way more impactful. But I do
Mhm.
find it interesting because you do have people that strictly do it for the likes, for the gram, for whatever.
Yep.
And we have to question those intentions. But I look at people and I'm like, I'm a comment diver. I get deep down. I will fall into a whole wormhole of
You be
comments.
all
Girl, I be all up in it. Don't let somebody die.
reply.
And I'm like, now who is this? And I end up like 4, 5, 6 pages. And over here, the forgot that I'm deep diving, liking pictures, talking about, I'm sorry for your loss. I hope Nook get better. And I'm like, oh crap, how did I get here? How did I get here? I do it nightly. That's my little quirk. Oh yeah, I do it all the time. I do it all the time. But when you get into those comments and you see how people interact, you get to see some interesting things. I also like to go in the comments of like popular videos or things like that and just see what people are saying. You have people who I had a person on one of my videos post nigga 56 times. I had to report the comment because that's hate speech. You know what I'm saying? Literally on one of my YouTube videos posted it like repeatedly. And I was like, wow. And I'm going, this person don't know me or the person I'm interviewing from a can of tuna. They just being hateful, And so you also look for those, but you see those kind of like robotic type responses and things like that. That's exactly why I disable all comments on my girls' videos. You don't get to comment on their videos. You can like, you can share, you can subscribe. You cannot comment.
Yeah.
But I look at that and I'm like, that is crazy. I didn't take it personal because I was like, you don't know me. You don't know that person.
You're a psycho.
Sam, you're a psycho. But you will see those kind of interactions. But what amazes me is when I see people I do know in comments, and I'm like, wow, that's how you really feel about that. It will make your eyes this big. I'm like, wow, like it's very eye-opening. So for me, it's always a time to kind of like reflect and no, I don't take it personally. I do wonder because when I saw that post today, and I was like, I never thought about a person being jealous as to why they didn't support. That's a different kind of perspective.
I think that sometimes it's not necessarily that they're jealous. I just think that sometimes when they see other people's success, it just reminds them of where they're lacking. You see a person launching a business, you guys are the same age, went to the same school, and it's like, oh, they're launching a business, dang, and they just kind of take stock of their life and they're like, well, what am I doing wrong? Or, why can't I have this same success? And I don't think it's necessarily jealousy. I just think that it forces them to reflect on where they are, and they may not like their present situation, and they're just not in a space to support you the way that you need.
I think that's such a dangerous mindset though, because comparison is a thief of joy.
But that's what social media is. You can definitely get caught up in social media. Like, for a long time, I struggled with that, seeing people, graduate from, get their masters, their doctorates and things. Especially, I struggle with those who get pregnant. That's a trigger for me to see someone, making a baby announcement, making, sharing, their newborn. That's a trigger for me. It just reminds me of where I am in my life and that I don't have children. And that's something that I so desperately want. But for whatever reason, right now it's not happening. So I do think that there are triggers for people, especially when somebody kind of winning, it's a trigger for you, but you don't necessarily know their story. You don't know the struggle they've been through. You don't know, I see somebody making a baby announcement. I don't know if they went through IVF. I don't know if they suffered multiple miscarriages, I don't know whether they're on their last embryo and, you know, it was a Hail Mary and, you know, they got pregnant. So I don't necessarily know their story. But you know, you see it on Facebook, you don't see the things leading up to that picture, the grief, the sadness, you know, the joys and all that kind of stuff. You just see a happy baby, a happy family. So
that makes so much more sense as it being more so a trigger rather than jealousy, because I get triggered by things too. And for me, I think we all have triggers.
We do.
And I think sometimes social media does play into those triggers, because unless you've perfectly curated your feeds, you don't know really what's going to pop up. And even if you've picked out the perfect people to follow, they can throw a curveball on you, right? And post something that you'll be like, whoa, I wasn't prepared for that. And I totally get it when you take it to that perspective, McKee, because there's a lot that people see and they don't even know how to respond. So I can totally see that, because for me, it would be like seeing, for a long time when I first got married, it was seeing like couples doing things. And I'd be like, I want to be able to like do things with my husband. And my husband's like, why we gotta show Facebook that we doing stuff? We do stuff all the time. Like, why do you care if them people see us doing stuff? We always doing stuff. And like it created this huge point of contention, because it's like, but I want to, he's like, why you want to invite them people into something that they ain't gonna do nothing but try to destroy it? Like, why would you do that? Like, why are you welcoming the anguish that it's gonna cause? And when you don't see it to that degree initially, you just want to see what you see other people doing and enjoying, or what you think they are. Half of the people that I would have those envious feelings about, not even married anymore. Went through their divorce wasn't nearly as loud as their other stuff. And I always told my husband, I was like, if we go down, it's gonna be loud. I'm gonna throw a party the same way we threw a party to get married. He was like, what? I said, boo boo,
you are crazy.
Don't show out bad. Don't show out bad. He was like, you are a total nut. I just want you to know that. But I'm serious. Like, we see people, and McKee, you just hit a major point. We don't see what it took to get there. We don't see if they're on their last leg of something. We don't see the struggles that they had to endure. And I think, and I say this a lot, we have to extend grace to people, because I look at my sister. My sister watches my YouTube videos, my interviews, and goes on my blog all night long, because she's an insomniac. So all night long, she's like watching videos, and she'll text me out, girl, why'd you say the girls like this? We can't find this cereal in Mississippi. Where did y'all get all these different things? And I'm like, that's great. And she'll share. And I told her, I said, I appreciate you doing that, because one, you don't have to. But I know you got my back. You have always had my back. Since I was a baby girl, you've always had my back. You're the reason I'm able to do many of the things that I do today, because of the way you helped to raise me as a teenager. So while I appreciate it, you don't have to. She's like, but I want to. She's like, I'm proud of my baby sister. I want to be able to share this. I want to be able to do that. So I think sometimes we forget that there are people in our corner supporting us, and rooting for us and being our cheerleader, because we see the people who may be doing it for somebody else, and you just be like, wow, like I thought it was better than that, or I wish it could have been a different way. But we have to move different with it. But I rock with y'all. I'm glad that you all were able to, come through tonight. I know that this is a lot to ask of you each week, and yet you still show up and show out and really provide your best selves. And I thank you. So we're going to bring it to our closing thoughts. We covered some interesting stuff tonight. Like a whole little melting pot of just random stuff. But, we celebrated International Women's Day this week, so I want to tell y'all happy International Women's Day. I shouted you guys out because I think y'all are so dope and you're all doing amazing things. I am so proud of each of you. I know that Wake Pray Create MS.com just launched yesterday officially online, although the business has been established for a while. So congratulations, McKee. Y'all make sure you check that out. Mindfully Fashion app. We're trying to get To how many by when, Quia? How many?
500 June 6th.
500 by June 6th. I feel like we're gonna double that because once you hit 500, it's gonna zoom. So we're trying to get there. I know I got 500 followers. I know I have 500 people that can download this app. So we are going to get this going. Have you downloaded? I might even do a giveaway if you screenshot that you've downloaded the Mindfully Fashion app, and I will send you a dope t-shirt. How about that?
Hey, nice thing.
So I will add that to my information this week, Quia, to make sure we get these numbers up. And McKee, as always, if you let me know how I can support you, babe, I'm glad to do it. Girl, you got my whole Amazon cart full with all these things. So my next thing I need to put in the cart is a plane ticket to get you down here so you can help me get
it. I'm about to get this vaccine, so I'm gonna be ready to travel soon.
Listen, we all gonna be ready. So I am so proud of you. I am so grateful. Oh, Quia, Blair said make a story about it tomorrow so we can share it. Okay.
I made a video about it.
Okay, so send it to our inbox. Please send it to our inbox so I can save it and I'll just put it on rotation to share out so we can make sure we have it. But y'all support your friends that are trying to do something positive. We will share a viral video of people fighting, doing stupid stuff all the time. We will meme you to death. Mm-hmm. That's all right. It takes 2 seconds to like, share, or comment on a friend's page of something they're trying to do, because trust me, they put a lot of hard work in it. And there's so much love behind what they're trying to do. Support your friends. All of them. They got something good going on. Yeah. Listen, if you have not done it, download Mindfully Fashion. Go visit WakePrayCreateMS.com. Check out.
Follow me on Instagram and Facebook.
Follow her on Instagram and Facebook. If you're not sure how to get there, if you go to I Am Michelle Renee on Instagram, on Facebook, these people are in my follow. They're at the top. It says follow by or following. They are right there. You can follow all my people. I try to tag them on our posts, or you could just go to the Tribe of Dope Black Women on my page on IamMichelleRenee.com, and all of their information is there. You can follow them directly from that page. It will take you to their pages. We love y'all. I hope y'all have a blessed night. By all means, protect your energy. All right. Y'all have a good night.